But Jimmy Gandolfini and I went back to one of our first theater gigs together where we were, and by the way, I've never talked about this, so
this is good.
You have the exclusive on this, yeah. Jimmy and I went back to a play in New York where we were just getting started, and literally we had the smallest roles in the whole play. Like literally we had no lines, or we might have had one line. I can't even remember.
This week's episode is brought to you by none of Secret Supply of Sauce, the best sauce known to mankind and available on shelf anywhere. Even when the freezer is full of sauce, there is still no sauce for you. You want some of Nona's sauce? Too bad, only Nona decides who gets the sauce.
Uncle Swampy bought multipliers and he wants our play now.
Call Chris and Dan. 87R play now. 87R play now. The 10s and 10s bought privately and they want our play now. Call Chris and Dan. 87R play now. 87R play now.
My dad made me watch lots of movies, so I want our play now.
Call Chris and Dan. 87R play now. 87R play now.
Now.
It's your R play. Use it when you need it.
Poppin's poppin' and lockin'. Magnum scrutinizing. Papa Max Podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 36 of the Zilly Award-winning Poppin' Mags Pinecast. Mags, how you doing?
Well, I am. I mean, it doesn't matter how I'm doing because I've been told my opinion or takes don't matter to anyone, so it doesn't matter. But Buffalo just lost, so we got that going for us.
Buffalo did just lose. That is correct. KC took it by 3, and actually hit a score quite familiar with what you thought it was going to be.
Yep, I should have went with my first guess.
All right, well, we got our reverse countdowns here, man. We got K-Fuel coming in at 376 days. We got your boys, Christian Dan. Our play Staking Index is now 395 days delayed, and the token drop for us U.S. citizens, 478 days.
Oof.
Space Junk, 234 days. Outliers, 130 days. Drinks from the Professor for Miss Berry, 611 days. Logan Paul and his nonsense, 363 days. Imaginary Friends up to 174 days since we were going to find out about ThetaCon representation.
If they were going to attend, yeah.
Dorks, 67 days. I'm pretty sure that is just dead. I don't think we ever hear anything more from them. Twitch Pixel, 207 days. Pog Reveal, 8 days now, so hopefully we can get something on that. But we do have an actual countdown here as well that I want to throw on there. I hear that, I believe it's Wednesday, the Mudras are going to be giving birth to a custom for all those who have them on Theta Drop.
I think Tuesday, was it? Or
is it Tuesday?
You had to have them by Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah,
the 23rd.
Tuesday.
So yeah, if you're listening to this and it's early Tuesday and you have a Mudra, I'd suggest getting it on Theta Drop with the quickness.
Yeah. You think they have any shenanigans with doesn't count if it's listed?
Probably. I would say if it's listed, it doesn't count. Yeah.
I would think so too.
We'll see what happens with that. And we're just going to put notice out there that there's going to be an official countdown started next week on the metadata issue for the T-Fuel in the hair. We need to get this thing taken care of. We need answers. So we're putting notice out there, and we got the interns pulling strings here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Was there anything you wanted to add? I know you had a green thumb.
Well, I know that it's delayed. I know Kyler reached out to us, as he does, and said he wants to get on the show again, and he wants to talk about the delay. You saw that, right, Popper?
Yeah, we could have a nice little catch-up segment, I think. I don't think we need a full show, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, whatever. He knows because we have this communication. But speaking of that, so did you see me get attacked on the boards this week?
Which time?
Well, this was Drama Gardner, and and he was once again going after Barry because she owes him, she works for him, I guess, and she has to answer him at all times. And he had some idea about this new, what is it? The Golden Knights, but not the bad Golden Knights, the good Golden Knights.
Yeah,
right?
that
Stanley
is just
Cup
terrible.
champions.
Yeah.
And he has the greatest idea in the world, and he wants them to get a hold of him because he's just got to hear us. He can't tell us what it is because then it gets all mean. But I'm skeptical. I don't see why since Kyle is the head of partnerships, get with Kyle. I don't think people just need to keep barking at Barry just to say, hey, I got a great idea, you need to get with me. Like, no, you don't. And then I got attacked for complaining that he was trying to get a hold of her, said it's a whatever. And I showed him the receipts, right? Of Andrea. There was a thing that had nothing to do with him. And we talked about this on the show a while ago, like when it happened. It was talking about like a video game, like was it like Guitar Hero or something? She was making some kind of or something with like keys or something. So the post had nothing to do with Theta. It had nothing to do with whatever. And he just hops on and it's like bashing about customer service and him demanding a refund or something. And I was like, this is not that's not her lane. And I don't know why you're attacking her on that post. He like takes it and he makes it about himself. It's, you know what I mean? Like he's creating something out of nothing and making a big deal about it. But then I'm making a big deal about it because I'm calling him out on it and I'm the bad guy all of a sudden. Because I got a couple messages too about it.
Yeah.
But I had the greatest idea in the world back in the day. So you remember remember those old like $5 footlong commercials back pre-Jared? Like
sure.
They were big and they would have like these sub of the months. I had an idea, you get AC/DC to promote the BMT for the sub of the sub of the month or week or whatever. And it'd be like BMT, it's dynamite. I had $1 million idea, but you don't see me like bitching at AC/DC and Subway to get at me.
Well, did you reach out to Jared?
I don't think we should bring up Jared, but I think it's still genius. They could still do that.
For sure they could. Yeah. And what?
You heard it here
first. Yeah, absolutely.
But, what am I? I'm just a guy with great ideas. I think I stole that from you.
Yeah. Who are we?
So I don't. Oh, yeah. So then he was like, okay. So back to Drama Gardner. He goes. I speak to Kyler all the time or something like that. We got information from Kyler saying no, he doesn't. He has not taken a call or a DM from him. So just confused about that. So I think Drama Gardner is lying and using his position as Theta Seeds to push his agenda the way he wants it. But thoughts?
I mean, listen, I think we all want what's best for Theta, and if he's got a great idea, then that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, you can't be just barking up the tree all the time. It's a lot of DM me. Like, I don't know. I never tell anybody to DM.
It's unsolicited. Me. It's unsolicited, and like that's not how I think it should work.
Yeah.
And two, his thing was about Theta TV or something like that. And the example I used was I had that Sizzle Pop sweatshirt, the ketchup hoodie, right?
Oh,
and I didn't get it.
Infamous.
And I was venting about it. And I know I mentioned it to Andrea Passon, but I didn't expect her to do anything. I put a fucking help ticket in. It got solved like the next work day. And they credited my account. So like there's avenues to address your issues. I don't think executives on Twitter need to, listen to all this drama. So Gardner.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, if you put your idea out there in the open on Twitter, now you have evidence that it was your idea. You know what I mean? Like it's for the benefit to put it out there. So I just don't see any harm in being like, oh,
Yeah, and just one other thing too, like Oh, well, they have the freedom of speech and they should be able. Yeah. And I have the freedom of speech to say, I don't like what you're doing and stop it. Right. Like,
right. It works both ways. Yeah.
it does work both ways, but people don't think it does, you know?
No,
so
that one. Yeah, exactly.
So that's all I got.
All right. Well, speaking of freedom of speech, we had an awesome interview with the one-of-a-kind Jordan Bayne this week, and you will hear that
after these messages.
This week's episode is brought to you by WWZ Game, the only project out there capable of putting a reverse countdown on Papa Mags because we can't keep up with the progress. Did we say interoperability with ETH? My bad. We meant interoperability with ETH and Solana and Polygon. Some projects talk about it, other projects be about it. Follow along on X at WWZ Game and join the Discord for all the updates.
Oh. Can you hear me?
looking beautiful,
Yes.
Jordan.
You look
Fuck
great,
off.
Jordan.
You motherfuckers. I really did try. I was like, I'm gonna do a little sweet. I've been planning this for what? How long we've been trying to do this? I've been planning this for like months.
Yeah.
It's been months.
Hopper, what intern did you have talk with Jordan?
There was like 4 or 5.
Oh man, they're all fired then.
The interns. What's happening?
Happy to have you on, Jordan. It's been a battle trying to get you on here.
Yes, it is. Yes, it has. Really, life is a battle. Life is a battlefield. Who's gonna sing that song?
I'm singing it in my head right now.
There you go. Mags is the singer.
Well, hi guys. It has been a minute. What are we doing?
How you been? Are you feeling better? You doing well? How's 2024 treating you so far?
Listen, 2024 is going to be awesome because I decided not to talk to a bunch of people, so it's going to be perfect.
Same for me, Popper, because I've been kicked by a few people too.
Oh
so
boy,
that's
All
great.
right.
Oh, shall we go ahead and get into that just straight up?
Oh, here we go.
I mean, it's your show, Jordan. I don't want to take
Not
away.
not my show, Mags.
But this is your show because this is the Jordan show.
No, it's your show. Your show. I'm just.
I want to talk about Jordan stuff.
Oh, we can do that, but I mean, it has been entertaining over there on the timeline.
Yeah, they got me a little bothered. I think some people are starting to wake up and see what's going on.
I almost spit out my red wine. I just want a little bothered. A little.
Yeah, maybe that's. I was telling Popper I took a huge nap before we came on today. It's been I just been getting it from all sides.
Oh God, I could run with that, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, please don't. Let's keep this. This is a family program, Jordan. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to bring awareness, and I think the less that these folks are challenged, the less they think they have to do. They've already taken money and time and resources from Americans who helped build their program, and they will not acknowledge that fact. Just saying, hey, U.S. regulations prohibited us from whatever, then why was I even on here in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, accountability is a weird thing in the U.S. No.
Yeah.
Just messing. We don't have to go there.
No.
Popper's just like, what the fuck did I just get myself? Oh, can I say that word?
You can. It is a family program.
That's actually the third time you said it.
Oh, is it?
No, that's good because I usually feel bad because I'm the only one to curse, Jordan.
Well, I think you guys know, if no one else out there knows, that I've been doing my due diligence as the oldest child and taking care of my mother during some time. She's been going through some health stuff. But, I'm a New Yorker. So, geez, fucking Christ, this is my vernacular. And I am not allowed to say the word fuck in the house. So, can you imagine what my brain is like? It's like my brain, as I edit the words coming out of my mouth. Yeah, so I'm just so happy to be able to rip. It says rip it.
Yeah.
Is that a song too? Am I just Gen Xing myself all over?
Rip it good. Yeah. I think it's whip it good.
It is whip it.
But I'm on the same page, Jordan. That's where my head went to. I was drinking. Popper. I was drinking an energy drink at work the other day. A coworker bought me one, and it was G Fuel Tetris.
Oh.
And I just was like moving around singing the Tetris song in the office. They were like, "What's going on?" And I don't know. And I didn't even open it yet. I was just so excited. But it was good. It was good.
I don't know the Tetris song.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's no. It's not like a lyrical thing. It's kind of like bam bam bam
It's a jingle, right?
bam 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 bam. Kind of like a I don't know, like a Eastern European Russian type medley, I think the kids would call it.
But we keep leaning towards these discussions. I don't know. Now we're talking about Russia. I mean,
what White Russia? I mean,
White
this
Russians.
is like this is
now you've really shown who you are. Long Island iced tea, White Russian. I don't know where we're going with this, you guys.
I mean, this is the journey we're taking every day on Papa Mags.
Yeah.
Holy
this
shit.
is standard.
That's why like we wanted to like ring it in. It's like, let's make this about Jordan. She's our guest. We've been dying to get her on. And we're talking about White Russians.
Is there anything else? Oh, no.
What? No.
Then in Russia, are there any? Yeah, never mind.
I don't follow the news. Anyways,
you're like, okay. This is what happens when I'm stuck in a part of the world where I have no social life. How are you guys?
Hey, I'm great. It's awesome to have Jordan Bayne, an award-winning, internationally exhibited filmmaker and actor, here with us. I think first time ever.
I like the way you read that first line of my bio. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
I didn't write that, actually. That was written so long ago.
Oh, really?
That was actually written by a publicist. And I've been like riffing off of that ever since.
So we can add to that long time.
Yeah,
award-winning.
Time. Yeah, long time ago, award-winning.
So, I mean, let's at least talk a little bit about stuff that we talk about. I mean, then you guys can get back to doing what you do, like almost like when Rob Feldman showed up, and it was just it's all you can leave now or whatever it's called. I think you should leave.
I think you should leave.
Yeah. I probably should.
That's a song too.
Is it?
Is it?
Think we live now. Something like that. I don't think those are the words, but
it fits.
It fits.
But I think
Spotify channel right here. Just put the dial.
Buddy Theta will let us know if that's a real song.
Absolutely. You already did.
I think We're Alone Now is actually the song.
Yeah, there it is.
I like that version better.
I think you can leave now. Me too. Because that's the way I feel a lot.
Parody incoming for sure.
All right, guys. I know you want to be serious because I know the two of you are super serious.
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah.
We were arguing over Rice Krispie treats this morning.
How should they be? With or without edibles or not edibles?
I can't do edibles right now. I got a few more months. But Popper, explain the situation.
So we came across, I can't remember the name of them. They're like berry Krispies.
Like fruity Rice Krispies. Like they're like Fruity Pebbles, but they're like
Fruity Pebbles, except they stay crisp in milk. They're incredible.
They're stronger. Yeah, they're built better.
So my daughter has allergies, and we make a lot of desserts here at the house for her. And Rice Krispie treats is one of them. And I made Rice Krispie treats, and it was half regular Rice Krispies and half these fruity Rice Krispies. And I felt it was the perfect combination. Not because those fruity Rice Krispies, they are super sweet. They're delicious.
And you know what, Popper? I'm wrong because people don't like sweet treats like that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think people do, but the box of the fruity Rice Krispies has on it like every other box of Rice Krispies the way to make Rice Krispie treats, right?
Oh, sure.
So we got into it, and I was told that the Rice Krispie treats that I made should have looked more like the ones on the back of the Fruity Krispie box
Yep.
versus what I made, where
And they're-
it looked like, Rice Krispies with a pop of color,
I swear to God, people who intentionally become parents are like the bravest people in the world because you can never do anything right. And you're going to spend your whole life like being obviously loved, but also hated a lot.
Well, unfortunately, Jordan, we are seemingly entering that era here. My daughter has turned 11.
Yeah.
And there is a slumber party at the house for her birthday party this past weekend for everyone that's listening. And, I've just been adamant that, I'll be the star of the show. I'm going to provide the entertainment and, no, Dad, you're not coming downstairs. You're not allowed down here. You're staying up in your room. You're not allowed downstairs.
Oh, I bet.
So.
I bet my godchild's 11 and she lives up north also in New York. And forget about it. It's a time. I mean, again, I'm not a parent. It's a godchild, but it's a time for you to like try to be cool, but like stay the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, I'm still, how am I going to do this? Like, I don't want to, I want to, obviously we have a great relationship. We love each other. We spend time together, but it's starting to be to the point where it's like, she'll be like all lovey and all over me and everything, as long as we're like home alone.
Yeah,
that's it. But not in front of her friends, so.
Oh yeah. No, you got to step back.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a really, especially if you're someone who's been super engaged with your kids, it's a real shock. It's like, well, you have to like adjust yourself as the adult.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but you're also a human, right? And so you're used to like this interaction with this other little human that you had this incredible interaction with at like, 1 day, 1 week, 3 months, 6 months, 6 years. And it like changes. It's just too deep.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, honestly, it was deep for me just today because, we're going through this and I'm just like, oh man, like looking back, it's like all those things that we used to do that maybe I didn't always want to do. I didn't always, want, but now I don't have that chance to do those anymore. So it was like, ooh, glad I did as much as I did when I did, but
yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, there's some things because I got the opportunity to spend a lot of time with my godchild and the things that we did, which were really fun. She's like super, super cool. And also, by the way, she's like super into Comic-Con and all of these metaverse things that her parents know nothing about. So the fact that like I'm off traveling now and I don't get to spend as much time, we're missing that time. I got a great opportunity when she was, I think, oh gosh, how old was she? 8. She's 11 now, 8. In Spain when I was in Madrid and I was living there and her parents had to go on with a client to Morocco. So they literally dropped her off in Madrid and I had more fun with her that week, just the two of us. And all she did, and I tell people, and I'm not kidding, this is not an exaggeration. I basically just followed her around Madrid because you walk in this city. It's a city you walk because you want to see things. She cartwheeled the whole way. And all I did was follow her.
Nice.
Clean her hands, but she cartwheeled. Yeah. But those are the things that are gone because now she's she's into other things. She's going to Anthro or some crazy thing in Boston this weekend.
Yep. Reflections with Jordan and Popper.
Yeah, maybe I should leave.
We really just already stretched the spectrum here of this conversation.
So Jordan, listen, I see that you have a PFP on Twitter. Looks like a kid called Beast. How'd that come about?
Changed to that one. Yeah. So first of all, I got to give a shout out to Dead Fellas. Dead Fellas was my
that was 2023.
PFP. Yeah, Deadfellas was for the last year. I've not been with the Deadfellas community forever, and they're fantastic. They've done some really, really cool shit.
Is that on ETH?
Sorry, yeah, it's on ETH.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've got a very vibrant community, and then this year I also got into a kid called Beast, and again another incredible engaged community. And when I look at a kid called Beast, and there's no comparison, by the way, between the two of them. They're just very, very different ecosystems. But when I watch a kid called Beast, I had not seen anything like that. And it's exactly how I had imagined that Film 3 would happen, because I thought that a lot of creators would come in and and bring their skill sets, and we'd be able to sort of blow up really cool media things. And it didn't quite happen yet. I'm going to put that, because I think that it is. I think Film 3 has been it's harder to make a film, and it's harder to get these things done. So a lot of filmmakers have not really tracked over to the Web3 ecosystem yet. But you see all these creators who have, and especially people that were in 3D and things like that, and people that wanted to be in 3D. And this is where I think that a kid called Beast has just absolutely killed it, and that they tapped into that. And of course, they've got millions. I mean, when you're able to have a treasury of millions, you're able to like serve your community really, in a higher level, I guess, or you maybe faster is a better word. But they've been offering to the community like all of these Blender workshops. And so I know people have come into the community that 3 months ago couldn't work Blender, and now they're like creating little scenes, 3D scenes, 3D. For me, these are like precursors to actual movies and short films and things like that, animated short films. But still, this kind of leadership and this kind of generosity and this kind of engagement with the community, because it's not the founder is doing that; he's just creating the space for that. I'm absolutely blown away, impressed, and think that they're going to go really, really far. So when I took a look at 2024, and I know the things that I'm going to do creatively as a filmmaker, I was like, last year was, and I said it in a tweet, last year really was a monster year for me and for the squad and for Film 3. And I think we have accomplished a lot. But this year I'm personally going to be a beast about it all. And so that is sort of the symbolism. And I'm super grateful to be able to be involved in both of these communities.
So beast mode activated.
Beast mode totally activated.
That's awesome. So how did you, I'm sorry, the other one was from last year. I can't remember. Deadfellas. So how did you get into that one?
Well, Deadfellas was when the whole PFP craze happened, right after Yuga Labs and Bored Ape Yacht Club. Deadfellas was only like 4 months afterwards. Now you have to remember that, and I mean, the reason I can tell you this is because I just sat there and watched and didn't pick up a Bored Ape Yacht Club at $200. I just was in the clubhouse rooms going, "Oh wow, I don't get it." So yeah, I know. Yeah. I've had so many of these. Seriously. I think it felt like it was August or September Deadfellas came out, and it was still pretty much of a bull market. So you had a lot of different ones coming out. And I think what sets Deadfellas apart is Betty and Syke. They're obviously their founders, and the vision that they had and the way that they partnered with certain people. They threw some great events, and again, they had a lot of money. When you were in the middle of that bull run and you dropped 10,000 PFPs and ETH was at $4,000, you had some money to play with. And they really engaged their community, and they created amazing partnerships. They made one partnership with the Chicago Bulls. They made a partnership with Wrangler, the jean company, where they did these really cool cartoons, and then they engaged the community to like help tell the story. So for me, Deadfellas was a lot of what I had hoped to see in Web3, and engagement and community and certainly things I've dreamed about doing. And I saw it really being done and executed in a really beautiful way by those guys. So I got in.
Sounds like the thing that they had in common was like a vibrant community. Is that what you're looking for in a project?
Well, at this point, I don't spend a lot of time looking for other people's projects unless one
OPPs. You're down with OPP?
I love them. I'm not in it at all, but I mean, you bet he's on notifications. Yeah, Jack Butcher is a genius. And the whole thing. 2023. I mean, I still have not. I'm going to put up on my socials a photograph of my desktop. I haven't even been able to like catch up on social media about everything that we accomplished and that we did. I haven't been able to flex because it was just so much. And so my ability to actually engage in other communities is I just haven't had the bandwidth. So when I look at A Kid Called Beast and I look at Dead Fellas and I look at some of these others that have, really engaged, and they sold 10,000 or they sold 20,000 and they really engaged them and they utilize their money for the community. And that's the difference between some of these that you got involved with. They got rugged, where people and I don't mean the people that just literally rugged and then ran the next day. I mean, people that made promises and dragged things on and they pretended, but they were giving themselves fat salaries and doing a bunch of other stuff. And then they were given a slow rug. Mags, got something to say about that?
I have a lot to say about that, but we only have so much time. And
oh, really? We under an hour? Over an hour on the hour? What are we doing? Have I been taking us down like the weedy path?
Yeah. So you're talking about, instead of the scams, which are obviously like
those people suck ass. Yeah.
Like you buy something and it's already a scam versus maybe people that don't know what the heck they're doing, or they make these promises and they can't do it, and they just use the money to benefit themselves and then slowly
quit.
Leave. Like Popper was defending. I don't know if you heard about this guy. He's like the guy behind Midjourney. He had a project on Theta, but apparently he didn't, but he did. And
really?
he rugged this project. I think he just used it for the money, but he was in the Discord and then he bailed, and then they put someone else to run the project. Theta put someone else to run the project. Then that person tried to do a drop so that he could he worked on other projects, I think, and he wanted to do a drop. He wanted to do something to get some money to help him run it because he was given nothing, and I guess he was told no, he couldn't. So the project's kind of dead, and it's been this debate, but Cosmographia it's called on Theta. Yeah, but
I think essentially we're talking about the same thing. People that come in and their intention really is to get their own bags, and but they're posers. They're pretending to care about the community, but in the end, again, I said the word quiet quitting. They either quiet quit or they just never had the intention. And again, we're not talking about the people that had made the plan to rug. These are people that were yeah, well, maybe I can do something, and then they realize they don't pivot, or it's too hard. So they got the money in the bank, but they don't want to do the hard work to really make a change in the world. And Web3, we can really make a change in the world. We can really, you guys hear me say this all the time. Community is utility. If we really work our fucking asses off on trying to take care of the people that believe in us, that believe in the vision, whether it's a project or whether it's a film or whatever, if we take care of those people, we're building brand loyalty. And that's the thing that a lot of these, in Mags, we talk about this. A lot of these bigger brands understand that's why some of these great, let's say, what just happened today with 9DCCC, which is the Web3 high fashion brand that G Money, put out. He knows how to take care of his community. He knows what they want. He knows how to engage them. He's doing some really cool things. Or we take a look at some of the, let's say, legacy or Web2 brands that are coming in that are saying, okay, we now understand that Web3 is really about the creator economy. It's about not building off the backs of the creators, but it's about community. And some people call this audience. Some people call this your, I don't know, your network, whatever. I consider it, if you can engage your community and you create something like that, then this is your squad, which is why I called the squad. These are the people that got your back. And it is easier if you've got something to grease the wheel. It's, you know, to what is that saying? Fast, cheap, good. So if you want to do something really good and you want to do things that are at a high level and have integrity and in this space, then it's either, if it's good, then it's not going to be fast or cheap. It's going to be one or the other. If it's good and it's cheap, then it's not going to be fast for sure. But it's the truth. And this is sort of in my, when I finally understood this, which was only a few years ago, and I understood this as a filmmaker, when people would come to me and they'd be like, yeah, can you make this for me? And, you know, and they would come up with some silly number. And I would be like, well, first of all, if you're coming to me, then you know that I'm going to make it good. And that means that you can only have one or the other. You can either have fast or slow, or cheap or expensive. So you decide on those two. And of course they want it cheap. And so it's going to be slow as fuck. And then they ended up going to like some college kid that, you know, hadn't really figured out that they were professional yet. And then they get what they pay for.
Right.
But anyway, just to come back around to like what Popper was asking, you know, the beauty about like Dead Fellas is that they are one of those communities that has just shown up day after day after day after day. And in fact, if you follow Betty at all, because she's a woman in this space, believe me, she has been the target. And she handles it so well. It's so inspiring. She's been the target of so much misogyny. And, you know, because she likes fashion, for whatever reason, simply often just because she's a woman, and she's smart as fuck and an incredible leader, and she takes it on. She handles it really, really well. So, you know, I stand Betty. She's and the Dead Fellas. And I'm looking forward to hopefully as we move into another bull run. We've shaken out a lot of weekends and a lot of these scammers, and maybe some people that are still here a little smarter, and they'll be smarter about who they pick up a token from or get involved with a project. I mean, you know, you were talking about Theta mags, and I love Theta, as we all know. And Theta's been an incredible partner on every level for me. So if somebody's listening to this and they don't realize that I'm from the squad, from the film squad, from, you know, we originated the Film3 movement, and Theta really has been an incredible partner in being able to take some of the vision of what I want to do, and what I want to do, you know, started with the Medicanth. And they had an innovation that they wanted to work on, which was digital rights management. And they wanted to prove that and put that on the blockchain. And so it was just a great partnership all the way around, and has been. Their whole team. I've just had the great fortune to be able to work day to day with Andrea Berry. And, you know, can't say enough awesome things about her. Where the fuck is she, by the way? Why isn't she on this?
Yeah. She
want
to take away.
What's her real name? What were we calling her? Claire?
Who?
Carol?
Amanda.
That wasn't us.
I didn't call her that, though.
I called her that all during FaceCon. Where's Amanda?
Yeah.
Real quick, for people who don't know, Jordan is also, AKA, do you get this, Jordan, a lot? Melody Kane?
Melody Kane. Yeah.
From episode 5, season 9 of the smash hit Law and Order.
Law and Order, I knew it. I was like, you mean that prostitute? Okay. That's true. I was like, I know that name. I know that name. That name in another lifetime. Yeah, high class call girl.
I got to check this out. But for anyone, season 9, episode 5, it's called Agony. So that was good. And I also caught your short film on Amazon. I figured out, I did like a day and a half subscription of a trial. This Is All I Know.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how the heck am I going to watch this thing? And then it pointed me to it, and it was very good, and you made me cry at the end. So
It probably would have been on rewarded TV if you waited long enough.
yeah, I don't think so.
Popper.
I didn't even mention them by name, Popper, but go ahead.
Yeah.
You talking about Imagine Replay and rewarded.tv? Yeah. Okay. Well,
I didn't put the dot in there though, so you just
Docs
doxed.
TV.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, Max. Yeah, I'm very proud of that film. It's a tough one, but I was very fortunate to work with the Oscar winner Melissa Leo, and then also the great Peter Garrity. If you ever watched The Wire, in fact, the interesting thing is that Melissa was originally on The Wire, and she got replaced by Peter Garrity. But they are wait, it's not Homicide. What am I talking about? Homicide.
That's the Law & Order spinoff that's in Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly. So Melissa was on Homicide originally, and then they replaced her with Peter Garrity, and that was one of his longest. And then I think he was on The Wire. He's phenomenal in this film. The Sea Is All I Know. They both are, but Melissa's an actor that takes up space, and Peter's an actor that is so subtle, and both of them brilliant. Like both styles worked perfectly with each other. They complement each other in this film. But Peter, I'm not telling you to go back and rewatch the film, but when you watch this guy working and the
cutting the fish, right?
Yeah. Amazing.
He could do it. I wouldn't know what to do.
Or when he was singing to his daughter.
That's what got me at the end.
Yeah,
I heard you wrote that, right?
I did.
You did. I was like, oh man, and then once he started singing, I was done. I was it. That was it. I was like, "Damn you, Jordan," and I was crying.
Good. That is actually my intention.
And then he took a nap.
Why not? I mean,
hey, it was an emotional journey. I needed more time to recoup from that than it took to watch. It was. I had to think about some things after that. So
yeah, it packs a punch for sure. Yeah. Thank you for watching that. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, of course. It was good. Oh, so I don't know if I'm hijacking, if you have more to say, but what is it? That's the Squid Games, or do you enjoy that?
No, I've never watched that.
Oh, you've never seen it? Oh, it's freaking fantastic. But do you know about the Squid Game stuff?
Listen, let me tell you why I have not watched the Squid Games. I've never said this publicly. I started the first episode. It hit so close to home as someone who's never, again, I've been like, I wouldn't say a starving artist because I don't like that moniker, but as an artist who's really just walked the tightrope for decades. And I don't mean this doesn't, no shade on the uber capitalists out there, but to live in an uber capitalist world.
Or Lyft capitalist world.
Yeah. It hit too close to home. I thought, and maybe it was where I was at the time when it came out. Because listen, I have tons of respect for how long it took him 10 years to get that picked up and made. And I know it was a huge hit. I think it just hit too close to home. I was like, I could be one of those fucking people. So desperate to try to like stay alive, keep the lights on. And so I just couldn't. Yeah. And that's my confession.
Could you
Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Could you maybe fill in better on like, is this have to do with the payment for the creator? And
it has more to do. Yeah, I guess so. I guess we could really link that. Sure. The part I remember the most before I was like in the first episode, before I was like, I can't do this, was watching the fear of these people having to run this course and then get shot at, or where they make it or whatever. And it was just this sense of desperation. So that deep sense of desperation was something I just found super triggering, because when you live in New York City and you're an artist and you have the conviction like I do, and also let's just, let's just keep it real. Women are not given the same amount of opportunities as men. So I took The Sea Is All I Know, the short film you're talking about, I took it all the way to an Oscar run, and I didn't have any doors open for me, but I had a ton of friends who were white dudes have doors open for them. And because of that, they ended up with sustainable livings. Doesn't mean they had like huge livings, but sustainable, where they weren't worried about keeping the lights on. So that's an interesting segue, Mags, because the reason the squad was that when I was already in crypto in 2015. I was already speaking at blockchain conferences at 2018. But it's not like I was rolling in bags because I couldn't get a bunch of bags. But I understood self-sovereignty, and I knew I wanted it, and I understood like ownership. And so when the whole NFT thing came around, my brother and I were talking like December 2020. He's like, "Are you paying attention to this?" I was like, "Not really." And he was like, "I think you should." And so I did. And then I realized that this could actually be revolutionary for filmmakers, in that what I was seeing was the ability for artists to have a sustainable living, which was my own pain point. And, trying to crack that nut while I was trying to get a feature film made and keep the lights on. So I just thought I got to find some more, see if there's some more like-minded people out here. And if there's not, then I got to start telling filmmakers about this, because and this, of course, is, sort of the heyday and this was pre-PFP, pre-Yuga Labs. So we're talking February, March, when it was really formulating. I was starting the spaces, as you know, that I've done, that are now on X, but we've done like well over 500 of them at this point. And I was just looking for like-minded people that could see that this could be a revolution, not only for the filmmakers and for sustainable living, and to sort of for the pain points from, even at that point, I don't think, we hadn't really articulated like, oh, wow, this could be something we could work for financing. I don't think we understood community as fully as I do now, like as utility. And there were no mechanisms for marketing and distribution. So all of that, if what you're asking, does lead back to Squid Games and my pain points and not being able to watch that show.
Came across a thing on the X or the Twitter about, and I don't know if you saw this, about Netflix paying this filmmaker $11 million to come up with to do this project. Netflix apparently spent $40 million with it, and the guy took the money and he invested in crypto.
Oh yeah,
and is suing Netflix because he says Netflix owes them money. And it's just like, I guess I think the holy crap thing is like, they just basically gave this guy all this money, this dude all this money, and then like there's stuff like Squid Games where people are getting dicked over. And to your point about like compensation and the amount of, is it male to female directors or for large movies or anything, it's just there's like a disparity in the numbers.
Well, the disparity is that and it's actually worse this year, I think. 5%. Actually, I can't. There was a really great chart that I saw the other day, and it blew my mind. But basically, 5% of the directors in the industry are women. 5.
Wow.
So 95% are actually men, and that breaks down even worse because it's mostly white men. And I'm not here to like, to smash on white dudes, but I'm just trying to work out the reality here of opportunity. And then it just gets worse. If you're a Black woman, or if you're an Asian woman, or an Indigenous or Spanish, the percentages go down to practically negligible. So imagine that you're 28, 30, and you're a woman, and you're trying to like get into this business, but you're only getting 5% of the opportunities. So by the time you're 35, and the guy that had 95% of the opportunities, he got one, and maybe he's getting that next opportunity. And so that next opportunity means that he's starting to create a sustainable lifestyle, perhaps. And because of that, he can maybe buy a house, and he can consider having a family. I mean, so I'm talking about the repercussions of sort of the inequity here, where a woman will have to make a decision about if she wants to get married or biologically, those things.
Yep.
If she's going to put her career on the back, which maybe she didn't even get a shot yet, because she just did a short film and she couldn't even get into the feature game. or maybe she did, and she decided I'm going to make my art my priority, and she went for it. But still, by the time she's 45, 50, she may not have still not been able to like make that first feature, because of the systemic situation. And I get like, I noticed that a lot of people, especially in our crypto world and our NFT world, they get really uncomfortable with this conversation. But I think that if you appreciate us, you appreciate what we have to say, if you appreciate the fact that if you've got wives, or if you've got women who are giving birth to your children, or you got moms, or you got sisters, and you're seeing them out there struggle, the best way to be an ally is to create opportunity, whether you're standing in the room with us or you're in a room with someone else and you're like, you should really consider this person. There was a really interesting thing that happened this week where a bunch of dudes like in their 20s, I was just trying to find the link, literally decided to make a girls club startup. Girls club.
Okay. Yeah.
And they got funded by VC money.
Of course.
Yeah. And women don't get funded by VC money as much. I mean, they get barely any of it. I think they get like 20 or 25%. And yet they post higher numbers. So there's a lot we could unpack about this that maybe on another show, because I don't want people to tune out, because we're supposed to be talking about pineapple and shit. But I mean, I feel very passionately about this, so don't get me wrong. And I appreciate the question. I think that it is, it's obviously very much a part of what the squad came out of, and my own personal pain points. I'm still trying to make that feature film. I'm still trying to get those opportunities. I look back at the things that I've made and they're really good and they stand on their own. And A Sea Is All I Know is a decade old and it stands on its own as a story, as a classic storytelling. It could have been made yesterday from a storytelling point, from a cinematography point of view, from editing, from acting, all of it. So one of the beauties, I think, in the promise of Web3 and the promise of Film3 comes back to ownership. And that ownership is a big part of removing those gatekeepers. And those gatekeepers that basically are the ones saying, we're not going to give you money, or we don't think you have an audience. I mean, Barbie blew that fucking away. There's an audience. Taylor Swift blows that away. There's an audience. And there's a lot of money to be made for taking women seriously. So the squad was made, because I think the world is better when we can hear everyone's stories, and that means all of us. And that does not mean everyone but white men. That means all of us. And and I think we become less of an us versus them kind of thing, and you'll hear less of me saying, there's enough of the pie to share. So, activism, leveling the playing field, making sure that the promise of Web3 and Film3, that creators make the majority of the revenue, removing the gatekeepers, and ownership are all sort of big parts of what I'm about and what the squad's about and what Film3 is about.
And we will be right back.
This week's episode is brought to you by Dr. Theta's Community Guardian Node. Theta's premier community guardian node, where you can stake your Theta if you don't run your own guardian node. Best of all, 100% uptime, so you do not miss any rewards, and 0 fees, so you earn 100% of your T-Fuel. Trusted by Theta Labs, you can easily stake directly within your wallet. Simply go to the Staking tab, choose Delegated Guardian Node, and find Dr. Theta's Guardian Node. Quick, simple, reliable, and best of all, safe, as the coins never leave your wallet. Stake with the Doc today. This week's episode is brought to you by GuardiansOfTheta.com. Offering 0% one-click Theta Guardian staking with random monthly token giveaways. Guardians also airdropped everyone staking with him an NFT that you're able to stake and earn T-Vibe. 100% uptime, 0 fees, random giveaways, what's not to love? Stop paying 4% and come join the fam with Guardians of Theta.
Papa Max, yeah. Papa Max. Papa Max Podcast. Papa Max Podcast.
Papa and I had such a great dinner together, and I drank so much wine, and I let him eat all the ribs.
The octopus was delicious.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that's where we were going with the Squid Games.
You can bring it back there, Popper.
No, it's all good. But listen, Jordan, you had mentioned that you haven't had time to like basically toot your own horn as to all of the accomplishments that 2023 had in store for you. Why don't you toot your horn here?
Okay.
Or are you too humble like Max?
No, well, I mean,
She's humble, sure.
The funny thing about that is that I think growing up in the South, and I'm such a New Yorker, but I did grow up in the South. And so, there's a role you play as a young girl of like, you're not supposed to speak about yourself and things like that. And so then once I got to New York, man, it took me years to sort of step into that. And now it's like, wait a second, now I'm old as fuck. And so I'm like, damn, I actually did some cool shit and I want to talk about it. And I'm kind of proud of it.
And you should be.
Yes.
And let's give you something to talk about.
Here we go.
Time to sing again.
There we go.
Your turn. Oh, I have a Bonnie Raitt story, by the way, which will probably not translate well over audio, but let's just say that I have a great Bonnie Raitt story between me.
Is it first rate?
Huh?
Is it first rate?
It's first rate.
All right.
It's first rate. No, she's awesome. First rate. You're so funny. Yeah. I'm trying to think about, this is me trying to like come up with like what we did. I was just like, just go to my Instagram. But then I'm like, I've got 17 more things to put on my Instagram. Look, the squad doesn't have a treasury, and we sold a squad member pass, but it's not like we made bags. We made enough to be able to like roll that into the first Film3 Summit, and also roll that into the last year's Quantum, our partnership with Quantum Art, which out in Santa Monica, where we did the first. And in fact, it was 1 year ago today that we did the first exhibition of Film3 filmmakers in an art exhibition in an art gallery in Santa Monica. And that was really cool. We curated 18 people that were members of the squad. So that was sort of a utility. We looked there at those members and we were like, we're going to put you in an exhibition. And it was cool. It was really beautiful. Justin Aversano did a great job with Quantum Art. And he's by the way, if you don't know who he is, he's a phenomenal photographer and one of the leaders in Web3 and photography. And I think his twin flames, I think it was at Christie's. I can't remember what it sold for, but he's one of the first to NFT artists to have sold at Christie's. And that was super cool. Then a little more of that went into Cannes, but other than that, we've been able to accomplish what we've accomplished through our partners. Our killer partners, our two killer partners that we've done the most with are Theta and Bingeable. And as far as like resources. And so Theta has really been incredible in getting behind the vision. So what we did with MetaCannes with Theta, and then at the Cannes Film Festival, the party we threw there was super first class. And we also, with two of our other partners that we work with, Goldfinch and Decrypt, they were a part of that as well, and several others to sort of pull that event off. But without our partners, we could not have done so many of the things we've done, and that includes like the Film3 Summit this year, and Meta Film 3 Fest on Theta, and again like without our community. So we consider our community, our family, our squad, and our partners. And we could not have had the kinds of successes that we had. Also, we were able to give out grants. So some of the monies that we generated, we were able to turn around into grants, which is incredible. I'm trying to think. So imagine what we would do if we actually had just a little bit of a financial resource, the kind of impact we could have. And I think we've been in 27 different pieces of press. I'm not really sure, but I think it's like 27 pieces of press that we got this year. And so what that means to me, that's not really a flex other than the word is getting out that Film 3 is the next wave of cinema, and I often say we're just following the footsteps of the French New Wave and the American New Wave and Sundance, where there comes a point in time where things have to shift and people rise up and they create an alternative way. And so, with Theta, with Bingeable, with Decentralized Pictures, with Goldfinch, with First Flights, with Maiko, there's quite a few people, Decrypt, that have made it possible for us to make a social impact in the world.
That's excellent, Jordan. And can you give us a little sneak peek of anything that you think 2024 will bring as far as like continuing this process or growing it?
So this is where I go seriously into stealth mode. And anyone who knows me, it's people's greatest frustration. But my feeling is when you don't have millions of dollars, you have to be stealth so that you don't get front run. And I'm very open about that. I hate being front run. And let me put it this way. We have huge plans and they all actually go back to the original vision that I had for the squad and for this sort of revolutionary movement. The marketplace has to be there. The community has to grow. People have to want to hear these stories. And I think that they do. I think that we see that people want to hear these stories. There has to be an opportunity, and there has to be exposure, and they have to know that these stories exist, and we have to be able to support these stories. And that's probably my biggest frustration, is that there's not a lot of support for these stories. So what you find now is a lot of underrepresented communities, their stories are getting cut from Netflix and from Amazon and Hulu. They'll do one season, but then they don't want to pay after the first season, whatever might be in the contracts for the actors or for the writers. So they'll just cut and they'll start again from a new season. So there's not a lot of opportunity for these communities to see themselves represented. Film 3 offers this, and great platforms like Bingeable, if you can meet their model, obviously they're a business and they've got a business model for distribution, or platforms like VideoMart, for instance, that's in beta. And we still need to build a place for these projects to have a home, and a legitimate home where they can have their ownership, they can have a majority of the creator revenue. So what my hope is this year for 2024 is that I can somehow find the right partners. And I don't know what that looks like at all, Popper, not at all, to help create some sort of structure, some sort of robust ecosystem where filmmakers can thrive, and the pain points of funding, number one, are relieved, because we do need to pay our crews sustainable livings. I mean, that's just the whole point, and that's the promise, right? That if we have ownership, and then, I think a lot of people need to learn how to cultivate their community and how to take care of their community. And that doesn't mean just ultimately self-sacrifice. And I think community often has to get their brains around that as well. For me, for instance, I can't be everything to everyone. So I have to keep my eye on the goal and my eye on the prize, which is hopefully finding avenues that actually does serve everyone. And that includes the community, who really is the engine, I think, that drives all of this, because they're your audience. And without, I mean, again, I'm talking from a filmmaker point of view. Without them, you know, who are you communing with? Who are you in communication with? I don't know who I said this to the other day. I think it actually was Rob Feldman. I said,
Friend of the Pinecast.
huh?
He's a friend of the Pinecast.
I
We like to
know.
shout out friends of the Pinecast.
Yeah. I said, as an actor, I did the acting thing to connect with to tell story, and to connect with the actors, and to bring the best story possible. I could not have given a flying fuck about the audience. But as a director, I care greatly about the audience, because this is the story in which I connect with them. And it's through this story that I connect with them. And then we can have a conversation together. So, anytime I talk about community, I really mean it. They are the engine. They are, as a director, for me as a storyteller, as a director, they are the reason, they are my co-creator in many ways, because I'm creating for impact for them, that hopefully that maybe they relate, they see themselves as a story that they understand. And I could go on and on about this once we start dropping into the art of why I do what I do.
All right. Well, I'm going to change direction here a little bit.
You want to lift it up from the big buzzkill that it is? All right.
So we know you're not a fan of delicious octopus, grilled octopus, so yummy. But the question on everyone's mind right now
is pineapple.
Yeah, do you like pineapple on your pizza?
You and I know exactly what this answer is.
I know. But I want to get you on record for this.
It's on record. It has to be very specific. Only with Canadian ham.
I had a precursor to this conversation, I believe, at ThedaCon.
Otherwise, fuck no.
But isn't it called Canadian bacon?
That's what I said. Canadian bacon, or is it bacon?
Said Canadian ham.
No, Canadian bacon is ham.
Yeah, it's ham. Canadian bacon. Right. Canadian ham. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, take your octopus.
You know what? So
wrap it. Stuff your octopus with some pineapple.
Not sure about that one. I would try it.
Put it on some pizza.
Try anything twice, right? My mom, over the weekend, I was up at my parents' house, and she made some kind of pineapple. I don't even know what it was, like a casserole. I think it was a pineapple casserole.
Oh, that's scary. I'm sorry.
I mean, listen, it was scary, but my mom made it, so I tried it.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good.
Have mayonnaise in it?
Absolutely not. No, it was like it was baked. It was
baked mayonnaise. It was cream
baked mayonnaise.
I mean, if there was mayonnaise in it, I didn't know about it.
Baked pineapple is not a bad thing in and of itself, right? I mean, it's kind of nice. Drizzle a little balsamic vinegar on it. Wow, now you're starting to talk. But
that sounds too fancy for me.
Yeah, I knew I was going there, but I did eat at a very fancy restaurant with you, and you appreciated it.
I mean, how did I end up there? I don't know still.
How is Mags not there is the big question.
Oh. So other than that, how was your ThedaCon experience?
I love ThedaCon. My first day, of course, was not so good. My first 5 minutes, I almost lost my shit because they basically put me in a room right above. I'm not kidding. Right above a club, which was an open air club, which had the biggest speakers in the world that you could probably hear 10 miles.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, yes, but we offer you these earplugs and these fans, these little fans. I'm like, bring a bigger fucking fan in here. Which they did, and it still didn't do any good. They ended up, because I'm a fucking New Yorker, And I had quite a bit to say about it. They ended up finding me a different place the next night on the other side, which was glorious. So then I was able to like really chill and enjoy everyone. I mean, seriously, guys, like I couldn't be everywhere at once, right? Like you guys were doing your Pinecast in one room, and Kyle, who I affectionately call Canoe Man, was doing his thing, which I got to go see. But then I didn't get to see Pogs because he was in the other room. A lot of cool things going on. I got to see the pilot for Rob Feldman's for Psycho, and that was fun. Yeah. And my friend Justin's part of that. And yeah, I mean, look, it was fun. I mean, the Theta people are awesome, and I would not have been there if it was not for Bones Nasty, who was my sponsor. And
shout out.
Yeah, shout out. And but also gave me the opportunity to talk about Film3. And again, Theta as a community has been a big part of our growth this year in Film3, and I'm hoping to surprise and delight them in the future.
Ooh. He said he came into ooh after me, and then he remuted.
And then and I was like drinking wine, and then it just was like dead space. I was like, God, if they're not going to talk, I can't drink, and this is it's not gonna work.
We'll cut it out. Don't worry about it.
Not gonna work. Not gonna work, guys. So what's up, you two? Have I talked enough about myself? Pizza.
Well, that was kind of the point, Jordan. I mean, I think everyone else is just sick of hearing us talk. So breath of fresh air.
Used to like people that are like fun fuckers, and me, I'm talking about films about our relationship to death. I'm talking about systemic like issues in the film industry, misogyny and shit. Yeah.
I mean, if there's one thing that we do here, we keep it real.
Yeah.
So it's all good. We keep it real and we hold people accountable.
Even ourselves.
Oh, are we talking about Imagine Replay again?
Yeah.
Well, that's only a small piece of our accountability pie, but yeah.
It's taken up a lot of my free time, though. At the moment.
That slice of pie is getting bigger.
Should we get real about that, though? Should we just have a little chat about that?
Because absolutely.
If you want. I have trolled a couple of times, and I want to be really straight about that, because I also feel a super sense of responsibility. I don't have I have an opinion about people coming into Web3, and especially when it has to do with what I consider Film3, which is in the entertainment business, has anything to do with films or movies and things like that, or television shows or whatever, streaming content. We are looking, and we need distribution platforms, but we need distribution platforms or even financing platforms. Whoever comes in and creates a project, we need them to do right by their community. So while I've only heard that they are not giving this, what is it? Watch to Earn. They're a Watch to Earn platform.
Yep.
Yeah. So I am personally someone who believes very much in under promise, over deliver. So don't make promises that you can't keep, and it's not good for the entire ecosystem. Now, if you have followed the SEC for the I've been doing this out loud since February 2021, and out loud, I have known that you have to be very careful with tokenization and the word investment and things like that. This is why Stoner Cats got bit in the ass, because they weren't careful and they were telling their people, "Oh, you're going to make money," and so there's that Huey thing. So I just think the reason I want to speak out on this is because it is. I think Max has a very strong point here. And I think that accountability is really important. We are a young ecosystem trying to grow. And I think that it's always best to sort of meet these things head on. So if Imagine Replay has not come into the Discord and had a really frank discussion with their collectors about what's going on, or been transparent, I would encourage them to do so.
That seems like a very fair statement. Absolutely.
And just to reiterate, my point is by not saying anything and going along with them, not acknowledging us as human beings, as American citizens, that you're giving them a carte blanche to freaking continue to screw us over because they won't acknowledge us. They operate out of the United States. They operate in Austin. They were a sponsor of ThedaCon 2023, and they refuse to talk, to have a conversation with us. So I think they're just trying to sell the platform, and they don't want any heat. And I don't think we should, give them the opportunity to make money for themselves if they on our backs. So
I feel that, yeah. I mean, I feel strongly about that. I feel that around the whole ecosystem. I think a lot of people came in, but we saw this early on too. I mean, you saw this in late 2017, early 2018 in crypto when people were just like jumping in and, leveraging their entire houses and then losing them in late January of 2018. Like people don't do their due diligence. However, those crypto guys weren't making a ton of promises. That was a market like risk, and people were trying to ride that bull and they couldn't.
Yep.
This is a promise, or this is here's our roadmap. And that's the problem I have with a lot of, the reason I'm happy a lot of these weak hands or these scammers have left the ecosystem, and it doesn't mean that they're not going to come back. They are going to come back. But I'm hoping that people are smarter, that they do their due diligence, and that the people that come back are building with integrity. Because again, the Web3 promise is about community and brand loyalty. And the power of community, and I'm going to bring it up again, and it's not because I'm a fucking Swiftie, because I don't think I am. I don't think I qualify.
My daughter is.
I love her. I don't think I qualify because I didn't listen to her music before this September. But what I did do was watch her be one of the most, and then when I studied, one of the most brilliant women ever. When I really took a look, and that's why I did the podcast as the proof of concept for Film3, because she literally knows how to build brand, community, loyalty. That's what Web3 is. That's what Bored Ape Yacht Club is. That is what Supreme is. That is what every single big brand that's coming in here is banking on. What they're trying to figure out is how do they utilize the tools and the incredible tools that Web3 offers. So when people like, this company come in here and they are only interested in selling, they're not interested in their community, it's not good for the entire ecosystem. And it's the same in the way I feel about several projects in general that just drag liquidity out of the ecosystem. So I'm hoping people will be smarter, and I'm hoping that people get behind the leaders, the founders, and the platforms that are actually have a vision for Web3 and are not Web2 posing, wolves in sheep clothing kind of thing. Which
come out with articles saying how they're going to fix this Hollywood this payment system for movie distribution by having a fair, equitable thing that's on the blockchain, and then we're going to reward the people for watching it, but then we're not going to give those rewards to the U.S. citizens. You know what I mean? Like these guys are taking victory laps. And it's just like the irony is lost on me, or is it not lost on me?
No, it's not lost on you.
It's not lost on me. Yeah, because it's like, wait a second. It's like, yeah, I like what they're about, and I like this idea, and I'll help build it, and I'll watch these stupid movies from the 1950s in TV programs from the 1950s. Okay, I'll do that, and then you know what though? You're not good enough to get our coin that we promised you, because our as Imagine Replay, our platform is rewarded.tv, where they reward everyone but Americans. They should change that, the logo. That's free if they want to use that. But
yeah, no, I mean, they should have, before they made that promise, they should have figured out.
And they should have known ahead of time. they sought us out, Popper, right? They came to us to say, hey, we want to get on your show.
That's very true.
That's facts. That's what happened. And then it's like, oh, cool. You know, these guys, the CEO, that they got a hold of us. They want to talk to us about their project on Theta. This is perfect. And then, you know, it's like I give a lot of leeway. And then when I'm like, hey, this does not add up. Community, like you said, but they don't even acknowledge us unless we're not asking about where our coins are because we're Americans. But
the fact that they reached out so early in our career as Pop and Mag should have been a massive red flag.
Yeah, it should have. It was like episode 6 or something, if it, you know, around there. That's so funny.
When were they on?
I think June. We started May 2022, Popper, and then May 24th.
2022.
2022, not 2020 also, but 2022, the year before 2023. But if you follow me, I'm sorry. I had that Tetris drink the other day. I got to slow down. But yeah, so we've been doing it over a year and a half, episodes weekly.
I just got your attention. Amazing.
What?
Well, we've been trying for months here, Jordan.
Okay, yeah, okay. It's October. It's true. It's true. Yeah, it's an important conversation. I think that, you know, I applaud you, Mags, for being rather relentless to like try to hold them accountable out there on Twitter sphere. And I hope that they come to the table and make these things right again. But that's the thing. There are a lot of people that don't think that they have to.
Including them.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. And so we're living in a world of people that don't feel that they have to be held accountable.
It's a lonely road out there doing it. But you know what? If I get a couple people, Popper occasionally hops on the road with me.
Yeah.
It's just it's amazing. It's, you know, there's a lot of support from international people, and then there's other international people that are like, shut up, or Americans that got their coins because they're dual citizens, and they could claim that. So it's almost like they're having their cake and they're eating it too, which I love if I'm the one eating the cake. But when you're not having the cake, then we got a problem here.
You sound like a spoiled brat, Mags.
Somebody said that to me, didn't they?
Really?
More than once.
Yeah, I've been getting that on Twitter. And then I love the responses I've been getting. I got booted recently, shout out on Replay's Discord, for being too real. And they're Ask Us Anything, where I asked us anything.
When keeping it real went wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, I got bounced, and people are still responding to my things, basically telling me, you know, like what Popper's saying. But then they're hitting me up on Twitter. But I'm not going to back down. I have nothing to lose. I have no coins to lose. I have no coins. You know.
You have no coins?
I have no replay tokens. I have a dashboard that says I have all these coins.
Oh no, you have them, but in theory they are worthless.
Well, they're worthless.
No access to them.
Right, because there's no access because you're not able to.
But yeah, and just I'm sorry for being a dead horse, but letting international people get it if you can't do it. Because okay, let's roll back, Jordan. So I referred to like, and I don't know if I told you this, but like, so Justin Bieber, he had this project, and there was a song, and people get royalties or something off of it, but they said U.S. customers are not allowed to purchase this, and I was like, oh wow. Justin Bieber, who I'm not a fan of at all, but his fucking people, sorry if I'm cursing, but his fucking people were smart enough to say no U.S. people. And that's fine, because you know what? They set it up front. Great. I'm not going to get it. But these guys used us to build their platform and refused to acknowledge us as human beings and deserving of coins, and hiding behind regulations that they won't cite to us. They won't spell anything out, and they won't even address a way forward to make it right.
No, that's my point. I mean,
yeah,
I think that basically you've underlined my point about how you should treat community, and the difference between those guys and someone like Taylor Swift, and why Swifties are who they are and what they're like. Like
I backed the wrong horse. I should have went for Taylor.
Yeah,
this is great.
Mean, but and the fact that you have said like 10 times, don't treat us like human beings, like that's just basic dignity, right? And Web3 is supposed to be better, and that's I know it's not. I know it's got its bad players. It always will. Human nature is like that, but
it's more fair in that fact, I think, or it should be theoretically, because like people who follow the rules, if you do this happens, right? Like
I don't follow the rules, and I don't think.
Well, what am I trying to say? I'm saying like
no. I'm sorry.
Like I'm saying that there's like smart contracts. If you do this, you get this, and there's no. If you're his buddy, or if you're a new person who put a promo, there's like it's like everyone has the same opportunity supposedly, and are as long as they follow the rules and they do what they're supposed to, then they get that, and then all of a sudden, well, you follow the rules, and then you basically get the rock, the Charlie Brown rock, as I like to call it. And that's not cool. So yeah, I guess I'm going to be Popper, a petulant little child, or whatever else I'm called. But
listen, you're cancel culture. Yeah. That to me, this is a perfect example. And I know like I'm going to get a lot of fucking heat for this, but you are being what others would call cancel culture. You're not. You're just holding him accountable.
That's it.
It's not cancel culture. You're not being petulant. You're basically saying, you said this, and you're flexing all about how you are the fix. Wasn't there like an article recently, like this week or something, that came out? I don't know. I don't know. I saw something. No, it was over on LinkedIn, and I was like, what?
Oh.
And just knowing the situation, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I don't know when that article came out because I'm terrible with LinkedIn.
Was that Dan's other 20 projects that he's working on?
Fuck if I know. I don't know, but I guess what I'm saying is that it's not cancel culture to hold people accountable. It's not.
But it feels like I'm the one getting canceled for trying to hold them accountable.
Well, yeah, you are.
I don't care. But that's the thing. Culture, man. I got nothing to lose, Jordan. I got nothing to lose. I have coins that I don't even technically own because they have them and won't give them to me. So
exactly.
I don't owe them anything. They've treated me, horribly. So
man, we could really, really, really rut into this right now. Like seriously, like on accountability. But then, like, I think everyone would start shutting this.
Yeah, they've already shut
down.
It off. Yeah, it's already been off.
It's because they haven't got enough of us singing.
If we promise more singing,
we got to come up with some more singing.
Yeah, if we come up with more singing and then we tease that in the beginning, and then they're going to have to wait to go through all that bullshit just to get to the singing, the good part. I know Simple Pine loves when I sing. Every time I sing on the show, Popper, I get all these sweet messages about it.
You didn't sing today. I sang badly. You did not.
I didn't I sing a little bit?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
a little bit. You sang a line.
Not a lot, baby girl, but a little bit, right?
I didn't hear the singing part.
Yeah, I sang. I was
just a little bit.
Yeah, I was just doing 50 Cent.
Popper's so coming to your. He's like, I don't want to hear.
This is a first too.
It's like I don't want to hear him sing. Jesus,
I'm so shocked because he usually just lets me bury myself. He's trying to help me out. That was appreciated, Popper.
I didn't mean to try to help you out there, but
thank
I'm a little
you.
disappointed I did.
Yeah, thanks. We're just holding Jordan accountable for me singing, but we're gonna have to go to the tape, I guess.
Do you guys have like an issue with like copyrighted shit here? Do you use copyrighted shit?
We don't do copyrighted stuff. Oh, I was like humming the Tetris thing. Remember? That counts.
Oh, you did hum the Tetris thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again.
That's not singing though.
I stand corrected.
it's singing is I carried a beat. Isn't that singing?
No.
Oh.
Well, if people got this far, then they could let us know if it counts or not. I think it does.
Okay, I got one more for us, and then we're gonna wrap.
Okay.
25th year of The Sopranos.
What?
Yeah. Now, how I know this, and I was thinking about doing a whole thread, and you got to tell me whether you think I should do this or not. The guys in The Sopranos were, several of them were good friends of mine when I was a young actor coming up. When I mean baby actor, just starting. And I did a film called, what was it called? Under Helge Bridge, where I played a mob wife. And my big thing was I wanted to make sure that she was human, like that she was a human being, not a caricature. And so when we premiered in New York, first of all, I got to do, Vinny Pastore and I became really good friends. He was in many scenes with me. If you know The Sopranos, you know he was Big Pussy. Dominic Chianese was also in the film with me. He was also in The Sopranos. Frank Vincent, I had a great scene with Frank Vincent, who is was a Scorsese and sort of like regular, and he was also in The Sopranos. But Jimmy Gandolfini and I went back to one of our first theater gigs together, where we were. And by the way, I've never talked about this, so
this is good.
You have the exclusive on this, yeah. Jimmy and I went back to a play in New York where we were just getting started, and literally we had the smallest roles in the whole play. Like literally, we had no lines, or we might have had one line. I can't even remember. And Marissa Tomei was in the play, and oh my God, who else was in the play? I can't remember, but like bigger people. I can't remember right now. I used to remember this shit. But Jimmy and I would just sit, and because we were always on stage in these like little tiny extra roles, and we would just sit and like shoot the shit because we were sort of part of the scenery. And when I did this film and we had the premiere and Sopranos had come out, it was the first season. And he came up to me at the premiere, and he was like a huge champion of mine. And he was like, damn. He was like, thank you. He was like, thank you for making her real, for like making her human, for showing her fragility, for like, and I will never forget that. Because I never got an opportunity even to audition for The Sopranos, even though I knew all those guys and I had done this role, but I was super proud of making them proud. And then sadly Jimmy left. Jimmy, actually, Frank, both are gone. And then Paulie Nuts. Oh my God, how could I forget Paulie Nuts? I used to hang out with these guys. They liked having a young actress around. They were good guys.
This is a cool story.
Yeah. It's a cool memory for me, I mean, it was really a part of my evolution, my early evolution as an actor in New York. And it's 25 years since this, and it's crazy. So, when I keep referring to being old, yeah, I was a baby then, but in good company. All right, now that I put you to sleep.
No.
Popper
Not at all.
Popper does the
right now. He's like, fuck this, I gotta get it.
Popper does the good end part. My Popper.
End game.
Oh, I thought we were cutting all this shit. All right.
Are we?
We are. Yeah,
we still have to.
No, that's a good story. You can.
But we'll see. Fun. But we do need an ending though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go for it, Popper.
Well, Jordan, listen. Thank you so much for joining us. Mags, I'm glad you were here too, of course. We had an awesome time. A lot of it you'll never hear. We'll never forget. We'll see you guys on the boards.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
It was fun. It was a good one.
It was a good one. Thanks for coming on, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I waited way too long. You guys are the best.
have been listening to the Pops and Mags Pinecast. Music provided by Sushi Cat. Like what you hear? Send that cat a very nicely worded compliment on Twitter @JustAddSpam. Pops and Mags is a Scumbag Hat production in association with Pam's Day Spa.